Welcome to My Love of Life Energy. I'm Anna Scott, your host. I love beautiful, rich conversations that reveal the truth, beauty, and uniqueness of each person I meet, and I'm honored to share them with you. Good morning and good afternoon, and welcome to my podcast, My Love of Life Energy. And I have with me, I'm so grateful. With me today is Eric Smith, who you guys have all met in last season, and I invited him back. So welcome, Eric.
Oh, pleasure.
I um, I wanted to have Eric back because it's such a rich conversation. So, but the reason I wanted to have Eric back is we were talking about a month ago, and we were talking about the work we've done and how it's impacted our families and what we shared. Because we both have had a journey with our families and what we've experienced. So, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
Anna. Yeah, I'm delighted to be here.
We've been sitting 15 minutes chatting, having the best time. So we might not have much else to say. I what's taken my breath away in knowing you and the work that you've done with yourself is how it's impacted you and your children. And do you want to share anything about that?
Wow, yeah. So I'll start with the current state of affairs in our situation with my kids. I have two kids. I have a son who's 24 and a daughter who's 21. And right now, I couldn't imagine a more wonderful relationship that I have both with both of my kids uh and that they have with each other. They're literally best friends. And I consider it a miracle. I was going to say like, oh, it's my greatest achievement, but I didn't do anything to make this happen. I don't believe. Um, but let me go back and I'll bring you all up to speed on just what a um, mess we were at one time. Uh, my uh, my kids and I experienced a lot of difficult times. They Things really came to a head. Their mother and I had a relationship that was uh, challenging. There were some substance abuse issues, and I eventually decided to separate. And it was a terrible divorce, very contentious. The kids were torn every which way. Um, and then perhaps 6 months after I was divorced, my ex-wife took her life. And it sent us all into a tailspin. And we weren't doing great before that. There was a custody battle. And my son was living with me full time, and my daughter was bouncing back and forth between her mother and myself. Um, and at the time, my wife committed suicide. My daughter and her weren't getting along terrifically. My daughter was worried about her. She was trying to help her and encourage her to get a job, but in a way that a 14-year-old would do it, which is um, a lot of conflict. Uh, and so, you know, after my wife passed, she, I think, had a lot of guilt around that. She probably blamed herself because maybe she thought that their relationship uh, her resisting her natural middle school, resisting her mom's stuff. Um, uh, you know, she blamed herself. Like I contributed to my mom's pain and suffering. And my son at the time was in his first week of college. So incredibly challenging for both kids. Uh, things did not get better for years. Um, I think my daughter turned to drinking. She she distanced herself from lifelong childhood friends, which is not unnatural at that time, but the ones she were replacing them with were um, also kids in a lot of pain. Uh, and it got to the point where I feared for her safety, um, and I picked up and moved to a different town um, to get her out of that situation. And she hated me for that. Um, and in whichever way she could, she resisted and really uh, both myself and her brother struggled. Um, and I think at that time, um, there was so much fear around her future and pain, and that I really exhausted myself trying to change her or figure out a way to fix her or heal her. And it the suffering that we all were enduring became so great. And I think I became so hurt that I couldn't, I didn't know what my options were to do anymore. My son was so affected that he thought that she should be in jail. That's at the point, that's how bad it was in our household. He did not want to come home from college to visit. Um, and we were afraid for her. We were afraid of her. And I think I think I got to the point where I had nothing left except for love. And so when I say I did nothing, I I stopped trying to smash the situation into something that was acceptable socially or to me personally or to what, you know, society expected our family to look like or where she should be, both in her education and in her life, who her friends should be. Um, and I just decided to love her and to be with her and to accept these things, right? And 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 it didn't happen overnight, but but slowly the barrier that she created around herself began to come down. And I think conversations that I had with her brother, because those two were at each other's throats, were um, effective in helping him see his sister as a human being, as somebody who'd been through a tremendous amount of pain, somebody who had made, who is blaming herself for her mother's death, who's self-destructing, um, who's at war with herself, and let him see through her eyes the world. Um, and things started to improve. Like we started to see each other as humans struggling with this very painful experience. Um, and slowly, we stopped resisting each other, stopped we started giving each other the benefit of the doubt.
Mhm.
And I think that wasn't easy for anybody to do because fear of her for her future, for the future of the family was overwhelming. Um, and if I did anything, it was to confront those fears and that anxiety and the worry that every parent has for their children. And in time, uh, we've kept growing and kept becoming more comfortable with each other, kept accepting and surrendering our own um, definition of who we are for the sake of the experience of having a family and having connection and not only like tolerating our differences, but appreciating them and reveling them and celebrating them, and seeing how all of those unique characteristics that maybe used to drive us freaking crazy were actually beautiful and um, because um, those characteristics were foreign. Like we have no problem relating to people who are like ourselves. Um, but to see someone who's on a different path and to have no judgment about that and to I would say geek out on their path, right? You know, that's kind of where we've come to over time. And so, like I said, when I say I did nothing, I think I just surrendered to the situation.
Well, I think I'm going to challenge you
Mm,
because um, I think this is my own perception, is I think you took responsibility for your own life and your
mm.
own experience, and you started to be accountable to yourself and your experiences and accepting your own fear. Having sat with you, what did we say, 15 years? I've watched you be with your own humanity and accept it. And because you could do that for yourself, you could do that with your children.
That's a really good point. Um, you know, I was a mess.
Yeah.
Uh, and um, looking externally to fix both myself and everybody else, was making things worse. And I think, yeah, you're absolutely right. I think there was, me becoming more accepting of myself and my situation, of focusing on love instead of what other people thought. I think, I think I changed,
Mhm.
and that gave my children permission to change as well.
But this is what I've seen. This is for myself. I remember a teacher, Wendy Palmer, who's since passed, who used to say the best gift you can give another human being is to get yourself in shape. And I think when I change, other people change. And
Mm,
is it okay if I share one story?
absolutely.
So my daughter, who I struggled with for a lot of, like we both had, whatever my story with my daughter, she called me the other day and she said, Mom, I don't know what happened. She was dating a guy who had body dysmorphia. She said, I used to have that. I don't have it anymore. And I realized the voice in my head isn't mean to me anymore.
Mm,
And I mean, I just felt like, oh my God, like I could die and like I could be done. And I told her, I remembered how I had changed because I remember the day I realized I hated her. And it wasn't her I hated, it was myself.
yeah,
She was just a reflection of me. And when I stopped hating myself, is the day my daughter started to be able to change.
yeah, yeah. That makes perfect sense. Uh,
Why I wanted to do this podcast was because parents are so afraid for their children.
mm,
And I was too. Like I was afraid my daughter was going to commit suicide on her 18th birthday. I thought
mm.
that was the day she was going to. And when I started really owning and changing myself is when my kids changed. And I saw you do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a miracle. Yeah, I, the energy that we give off when we're afraid and concerned, they sense that, um, and and also, these doing internal exploration, you begin to see things in a different way, and uh, and you develop insights and you start giving advice, maybe, um, that is crucial for a young developing mind. Um, Self-awareness, observing your mind, not trusting your mind, um, feeling feelings, not shoving them away, listening. Um, the idea, I don't know what they think about my spiritual journey. But when I share with them that they see the world through um, the filter of their memories and their past, and that's when I explain to them that's just one data point out of the billions of people on this planet that you are using to decide what is important, what is real, what is love, what is uh, in everything. That's what your mind gets to play with. That's all it has. And when you look at how ridiculously small and how little information that you have to go on, um, you, well, um, people can start questioning their own behavior or start appreciating the oddness that they see in other human beings. Right. So,
The thing that I the thing that I love and having witnessed is when you started to trust love and watching the miracle of it. It's like you ran out of options, and so you started to trust this thing called love
yeah,
and have
um,
patience.
right. Uh, and they did too, in good time. And now it's the most important thing in our family. Um, we still have times where we'll uh, resist each other or advocate for something that we want. But in general, um, both of those kids put the experience of being connected above everything else, and the experience of love. And love in this situation is just being connected to a human that you really um, have a lot of history with, and knowing and appreciating the parts of that person that are not only similar to you but radically different. And the beauty of this is doesn't uh, can happen with anybody, and it does. And I've seen my kids open up to the world in the same way that they've let their guard down and opened up to everyone in the family. And it's a miracle.
I had Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Oh no, to your point, like I don't know if that is just coming from inside of me. If I'm creating that with the love that I feel for the world, or if yeah, I don't know how this works. Uh, but
The only thing I know is that the one thing I know, I think I know, I don't know if I know it really, is that the perceiver and the object are connected. They're one and the same. So how I perceive is what I see. And so depending on, like, when you go to an eyeglass place and they drop the lenses, it's what I see is what appears before me.
yeah, um, that's been my experience as well.
Mm.
And of course, these things that we're talking about that seem like uh, spiritual concepts, um, finding ways to integrate this knowledge into their lives when the opportunity arises um, is, uh, is important. I and it's definitely been a miracle for me. And like I said, I also have a data point of one.
Oh, well, I get to watch on the outside.
Yeah.
So I've been the benefactor of listening and watching the transformation
Yeah. Yeah.
and watching what's happened.
Yeah. Um,
And it's breathtaking. Well, and I have a similar journey.
yes,
And
you do.
you know, and to watch, if I only see love, then that's what I'm going to get back. And if I trust life and watch it unfold, I'll get it back. And it doesn't mean I don't interfere or say something, but it's what I see. Do I see the innate well-being?
Ah, that's a very important point is that knowing that we're all human, we allow ourselves some grace,
Mhm.
because I have times where I'm selfish, uh, where I'm distracted, where I get caught up and I focus on the outside world and I get carried away. And I think that uh, my kids see that and allow for it, and they allow for it within each other. And it's
Mhm.
not like there's no baggage to carry around. It's these things that we do that they're not out of character for human beings, right? Right?
It's not like surprise, surprise,
Yeah,
surprise.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But they don't mean anything. It just means that we're human beings, and they don't attach themselves to us. We don't carry them around.
Yeah, we don't hold on to it.
Yeah, and so but we're still, we still have shitty days. We still do things we regret.
Of
Uh,
course.
yeah,
The learning. I mean, it's such an opportunity. I mean, I don't know about you, but my kids have been my greatest teachers.
yeah,
And my daughter, I'll say she brought me to my knees. I had to
yeah.
expand and see so much, let go of so much fear and control, and to see what was really there with her.
And um, you know, in some ways you can look at that as a surrender. In other
Mhm.
ways, you can view it as a tremendous act of courage uh, to put yourself on the back burner and to make an attempt to see that other human without the filter that you've created your whole life.
Oh, Eric, you got to pause because what you just said took my breath away. And I want people to hear what you just said. It's to see people without your own filters.
And that's the gateway to love, unconditional love for everybody.
Yeah.
Because we're all kind of screwed.
And without the filters, what I just felt, without the filters, there's this beam of love, but it's my filters that get in the way of it.
Mm,
My
all the time.
filters.
All the time. Yeah. And you can see it, I mean, you can feel it in your heart when it happens.
Mhm.
Um, and it feels so natural to do it because we're people. But you can also observe it in others, you know.
Yeah, but like those filters and those judgments, they're so mine. I'm not saying anybody else's, but they're like these little, like chip clips that felt like clip the energy, clip the love. They're so insidious.
Yeah. Yeah, because we feel vulnerable, you know. Uh, our genetics tell us that we need to survive and protect ourselves at all times. And we're really good at it. It's almost going against nature to dive into some of these things. It
Mm.
feels like. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if we want to go there, but it is. Um, um, there's nothing unnatural about the way that we live in this world. But I think that um, if we can take the time to really explore what's going on and share what we learn with our loved ones, um, the sky's the limit.
Well, this is what I found so interesting is my kids didn't want to have anything to do with what I was teaching, learning. But I'm finding they've all picked it up, osmosis. My son came back the other day and started to speak about energy to me, about somebody's energy. And I'm like, can we freeze this moment, please? He used to walk out of the restaurant a minute I would say it.
Right. Wow.
But I think this is the thing is when we embody it, we don't have to speak it. And you embody your love.
Mm,
You embody your love and you showed, you didn't tell. And once in a while you would, but that's, you just showed up every day in love with those kids.
yeah. Um, yeah. Uh, uh, Thank you. Um, it's so easy.
It was until it wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, just getting out of my own way to realize that what I needed to do, which was to stop, um, and listen and communicate,
Yeah.
you know. I can remember a conversation we had together. We'd all gone out to dinner, and I, thought that it was going to be a lovely evening, and I said something innocently to my daughter, and she got angry with me, and I doubled down on my position, and they both said, "Hey, Dad, here's something that you do," um, and I didn't see it, and rather than disregarding that or getting defensive, um, I thanked them, and having listened to them, it has done wonders um, for their ability to receive information from me. Yeah.
Yeah. Listening the key. All right, we've come to our end.
Mm.
I can't thank you enough.
Oh, it's an honor. It's an honor to be here.
I wanted you to share this part because I know there's parents and people who struggle. And I hope somebody hears this and know that there's a path. Love.
Oh, love. Yeah.
I love you, Eric.
I love you too.
All right. Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.